Fellas, how's everybody doing?
This open's about to be so cold.
It's about to be so cold. Okay, boys, I want to show you guys some of the things I got from Costco.
Literally don't care.
Okay, turn off your camera. Turn off your camera and excuse yourself for this cold open then. All right, so I got some OMGs. So okay,
Let's go.
we walked through the store. And
Wait.
eventually
I have to interrupt you real quick. This is all going in the show. Patrick, give me a clap. Mark, give me a clap. Malcolm, give me a clap. Thank you. Because I'm going to kill myself later if I don't have a fucking thing to sync the audio
So-
to. Do go on.
So we were walking through the store, and eventually we reached the aisle with all the candies and stuff, and I couldn't inhibit myself. I couldn't inhibit my desire to get candy,
Right.
and so
Don't
we
you already
start
have a
off with
shit
the
ton of
OMGs.
candies?
We start off with the OMGs. Shut your stupid mouth. We start off with the OMGs. These are almond toffee clusters. They're so good. Mark, tell them how good it is.
Did you say this when you saw it? You hear that?
We couldn't hear
Nope.
that, but it'll get picked up in the edit. It'll get picked up in the edit. Don't
we
worry.
didn't hear it, but sure.
It was OMG by Usher.
Oh, there we go.
The song,
Perfect.
and the song starts and he says, "Oh my gosh." No,
That's
the
right.
Patrick, question: Have you ever had those clusters with a s'mores version?
No.
There's a
Didn't know
s'mores
that
version that has
existed.
graham crackers, marshmallows, and they're covered in chocolate.
Really? That sounds good
Yeah,
too.
You know-
the OMGs are fantastic.
You know what I saw once, speaking of s'mores, and I want to try this, is somebody put, like, the wax paper or whatever the fuck it is in their air fryer and then threw in a bunch of, like, puffy marshmallows and chocolate and shit and air fried it so it, like, melted the marshmallows and the chocolate or everything, and then they were just using graham crackers and eating it like chips with fucking dip. That's insane. I want it. Give it to me now.
Interesting.
You could probably do that. You could always probably do it in the oven too. I
Yeah,
guess it's
probably.
quicker in the air
Probably-
fryer.
You probably do it in the
Probably
oven, no
quicker.
problem.
Yeah.
But the
Probably
air
not.
fryers are much quicker, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're quicker,
Kinda
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Of course, the goat.
guess how much this
Oh yeah.
guess how much this bag was?
$2.
I mean, can you hold it back? Can I see how big it is in relation to your? Wow, that's pretty big. Okay, that's
That is
big.
pretty big.
Mm.
In
Can I
relation
get-
to my
so-
head?
Patrick
$10?
sized.
Okay, that's one guess. 10. What do we think?
No, I'm gonna give a more exact guess. $11.99 is my exact.
Okay.
Because I would have maybe said 12. So I'll say $12.50. You know what?
Okay.
I'm gonna
I
lowball
say-
it. I'm gonna
I
say
say
$9.50.
I'm saying 16.
I'm sticking with
$8.99.
Hey.
Wow.
$8.99, dude.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
I couldn't say no.
You couldn't say
And
no.
last-
and
Good say.
lastly, and lastly,
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
nerd gummy clusters. This is a pack of how many? 1, 2, 3.
Patrick, how big's your gut gonna be when you come back home?
That's gonna cause
It's
a
a
cluster
pack-
in your arteries.
It's a pack of 10 at a cost of $24. And that boils down to $2.40 per pack. So
You're a piece of garbage.
I couldn't say no, dude.
You couldn't say
I saw
no.
I saw the price and I was like, you sold me. You sold me the second you showed me the price. That's it. I'm getting it.
Let's hope
Yeah,
you're hitting the gym
you're
at the same
gonna
time.
have- You're gonna have cluster formation in your veins and arteries.
And just so we're on the same page,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not a Costco run. It's not a Costco run. Unless you secured the bag, am I right?
Go.
It's not a Costco run unless you secured the bag, am I right? I'm gonna have
I'm
this
hungry
right
right now and I
now,
want
baby.
one.
Please
I
don't.
want one
I'm
so
gonna
bad.
have
eat
this right now, baby.
Please don't eat
I'm
this
putting
right
ketchup
now.
on it and I'm having it right now,
Please don't eat
baby.
this on the show. Jesus Christ. Yep. Yeah. Take your.
Patrick, I literally thought that was your ass.
You thought it was.
I was really
what?
concerned. I thought Patrick wasn't wearing
Yeah.
pants and he just stood up with his bare ass in the camera.
Stood up with his bare ass out. Yeah, there he goes, getting the catch up. Well, that'll be great for this audio-centric show. Does anybody else got anything, or should we just
Nope.
take it away?
Kill me.
Yeah, not really. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to episode 81. Wildly adequate. You know the deal. Show about anything, everything, usually nothing. I, as always, am one quarter of your host and crew, Matthew Urso, and I am joined by Patrick, and Mark, and Malcolm. Everybody's here. Wow. If you like the show, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, check out the socials. That's it. That's all I got. Patrick, what were you about to yap on about?
Okay, what's funny?
What is funny?
At Costco, when I was checking out for the hot dog, there was a message before I went to pay. It was like, "Do you want to add a double chunk chocolate cookie to your order?" I don't think they're pushing those as much as they want to be. So they're trying to like push that on people on the way out.
Wow.
Anyways,
They should have a big cardboard cutout of Big AJ with a double chocolate cookie at every Costco.
there was literally a girl going off in the voice. She was like, "I want a double chunk chocolate cookie."
I hate everything.
And I had to. It took everything within me not to. No, I'm kidding.
We've
That's
gone-
a joke.
We've gone too far.
That's a joke, internet.
It's literally not a joke. It's literally not a joke, internet.
It's literally a joke,
I've
internet.
seen him do it. I've seen him do it.
Whoa! What? Oh. What the actual hell, Mark?
I've seen him do it, but he's gifted me V-Bucks, so I can't do anything about it.
He gifted me V-Bucks.
It was the contract between us.
Patrick
You
bought my
get the
battle
V-Bucks,
pass.
I get your silence.
The internet
Sorry?
has ruined everything.
Yeah.
Alright, what's your topic?
Couple things on the agenda.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little bit of a prelude, and then we can get into some other material. But
Okay.
I don't want to fan the flames.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to fan the flames, but I want us. I want us to just have a civil discussion about the substance
Let's go.
and our perceptions of the movie.
All right.
I've heard both sides at this point. Let's get it all out on the table, shall we?
How about me and Mark go first? How about that?
Okay, you guys go first.
I mean, I actually wrote a little review on it.
Oh, perfect.
It's not too long. It's just like a quick word, and I'm gonna filter it as I go here. Okay. Let's see what I said about the substance. Okay. I'll start by saying that I thought the concept for the movie and its message on beauty standards was pretty cool. I thought it had potential. I think the idea is pretty interesting and pretty original to have someone who like literally kind of releases a younger, better looking version of themselves. I thought that was a cool idea. That being said, I didn't like much about the movie, to be honest. I thought the delivery of the message was like way too like heavy-handed, and I'm sure they did it on purpose to be like really obvious and like push it in your face, but I just felt like, I don't know, it came across as a bit corny and forced to me, like the message. Also, I felt like there were so many unnecessarily long scenes where they were just like focusing on this like random activity for like so long. Like there were scenes of like 10 minutes, it felt like 10 minutes of her just sitting in the bathroom like stitching herself up or whatever, or injecting herself, and like all these scenes felt so long for no reason. And then also I just felt, and I know it's like I guess a part of this type of genre, but it felt like 90% of the movie was just like, how grotesque can this visual be? How can we make it as like wildly like, bloody and gory and whatever as possible? So yeah, like I don't know. To me, it's like I think it had a good idea. It had potential. There were interesting moments, some cool scenes. Like the prosthetics look pretty cool, but I just felt like the movie sacrificed a good story and good plot for just like gross, crazy shit visually in your face and audio as well. I just felt like that was like the main part, and like the story was like a secondary thing.
Okay, do you have more? Or?
That's it.
I'm gonna ask each of you this question as we go around. Would you recommend our viewers go watch The Substance?
I wouldn't unless you're a fan of that specific genre of horror movie, which is like what they call body horror. It's pretty.
Okay. It's intense body horror.
Yeah, it's very like, and I'm someone who doesn't even mind blood and gore at all, but it is specifically designed to make you grossed out. So it's like, to me, I don't know. Unless you're someone who like really likes that stuff, maybe not. Maybe not.
Gotcha. Malcolm, let's hear some echo or some alternative things.
My review is pretty similar to Mark's. The story really, really bored me. Like, if it weren't for the body horror, I don't think there would have been anything to this movie that I could have taken away and been like, okay, like, yeah, that was interesting. Because the body horror stuff, I did really like. Not because it was like incredible. I don't know how to describe how I liked it. I liked it in the way that it did what it was intended to do. Like, it made me feel queasy. Like, when there was, like, the scene of the long-ass needle going into the, like, hole in the lady's back, and it was all like pussy and like coming out. Like I was like in my chair, like squeamish, like like that's gross. Like I can almost feel it myself. Like in that aspect, I thought they did a really good job. But just with the story, I just like I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave the theater. And the last quarter of the movie, I was more interested than I was the first three quarters. And
Yeah.
the last like 5 minutes of the movie could have gone without. Didn't need that monster ramping around, spraying blood everywhere.
Do we say spoiler alert or something? I mean, I feel like. Go
I
on.
guess yeah.
But
Spoiler
I guess
alert.
I'll put a spoiler alert up.
Dude, okay.
Yeah,
Can I just
the
say,
monster going around at the end and spraying blood everywhere. I did not like. I didn't
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Okay.
Can I just
So
say
Malcolm,
that-
would you? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I
You
was
want to add
just
something
gonna
to what
say,
Malcolm said?
yeah, kind of like I think somewhat adding on to what Malcolm said. I feel like the body horror aspect of things could have been like if it was paired with a great story and great writing and really interesting plot overall. I think it could have helped enhance the story. Like I think the crazy visuals and shit and all this body horror stuff. Like I wouldn't have been as, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't have viewed it as negatively if it was paired with a really good story. But the fact that the story to me felt really corny and kind of silly and over the top and whatever, and I didn't like the story. I wasn't invested and I was bored a lot of the times, or just kind of like I don't want to watch this anymore. This is just like repetitive, the same shit, just like blood, gore, whatever, and a lot of nudity and shit. Yeah. I
You
felt like
had
if there
no.
was
Let's call a spade a
Yeah.
spade. You didn't have any problem with that.
with the nudity.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'd be like, at times I was like a bit uncomfortable. I was like, okay, I've seen this person completely naked about 10 times now.
I feel like
yeah.
I know her intimately now.
Yeah.
Malcolm, would
So-
you recommend our viewers watch The Substance?
I would only say yes because I really want to know what other people think about this movie.
Interesting.
Because the reviews just don't line up with what I saw.
Mhm.
They just
You're
don't
saying
like
it's
all the reviews.
overwhelmingly
All
positive.
the review. Oh, it's super. Like everybody's like, oh, it's such a great movie. Like best movie of the year. You guys had like
Here's my
phenomenal
question.
jobs. Like, ugh.
Here's why that makes me curious, because as Mark said, it's a very particular genre for a
Yeah.
very particular kind of viewer.
Mhm.
So is it the case that they've represented themselves well, and so people who normally wouldn't watch that movie are in fact avoiding it, and so
I
the people
believe that-
reviewing it are those advocates of that genre? You know what I'm saying?
I would assume so, because everyone I've told about this movie, coworkers, friends, family, no one's even heard of it. It's kind of flying under the radar. It's more of like I think it's more of a niche thing, like you're saying. Like I think
Yeah.
people who love that genre saw that movie and they had their eye out for it and they loved it because it's kind of like a great example of why they love that genre. But in general, like not many people that I know about it, and I've asked many people, and like it's not a very popular movie. Didn't do crazy well at the box office as far as I'm aware. So yeah, I think that if you shut, he's top right to me this way. He's top right. Okay, so everyone's a different direction.
For me, I'm to your right, Malcolm, and mine's the one that I guess goes onto the thing. So there you go. Sure, yeah.
But
there
the,
you
the,
go.
la- the last thing I'll say is I think that if you showed this, I think if you showed this movie to a casual audience of people, the vast majority would not like it at all. I think you have to go into it knowing what it is and knowing that, hey, like I'm a fan of what this is. I'm a fan of this
Mhm.
genre. I'm a fan of what they do here. If you're just showing it to random people, the vast majority of people, they're going to be like either too grossed out by it or they don't like the story or a combination of both. That's what
Mhm.
I find.
As George Fahim would say, Mr. Movie Maker.
Mhm.
Let's hear from you, buddy.
I really liked it. It's definitely a movie that's kind of stuck with me because I find myself thinking about it like somewhat regularly since the other day. It's not a movie that I like necessarily adore or anything, but it's definitely, I guess, gone up for me the more I think about it. I really liked it. I thought it was really solid. I liked what they were going for. I liked all the thematic shit. The body horror stuff obviously was like super fucking gross and well done and cool. Because it's not very often that I watch horror stuff and am like legitimately sort of like cringing in my seat and like grossed out about shit, but there's just stuff in it with like fingernails and like teeth and like all kinds of shit that just like super fucking grosses me out kind of thing. So it was quite effective in that regard. Had a blast. Everybody out there, go check it out.
So you'd recommend our audience
Yeah.
go watch it? Okay.
Because I think it's
Even
different.
people who like aren't a fan of horror or don't like gruesome stuff.
I mean, I guess if you're like diametrically opposed to that shit, then it might not be for you. But like if you're just like a general person who doesn't mind horror movies, then yeah, I would say go check it out just because it's
But
different.
what I'm saying is like I love horror, but I did not know this was a body horror movie, and I didn't really know what body horror meant until I looked it up afterwards and you mentioned it and stuff. So to me, it's like I love a lot of horror movies, but this movie caught me off guard and like really grossed me out because I didn't know what I was in for. So to me, I'm like, I wouldn't want to just recommend this to someone who's like, again, a casual moviegoer, because unless I describe to them what they're getting into, then maybe you can enjoy it for what it is. But like, yeah, I don't know. It depends. I think if you're into horror, like really into horror, and like you're really like fine with gory shit. But yeah, I don't know.
I think it's safe to say I will never be watching that movie.
Yeah.
You can pay me to watch that movie. There's no amount of money.
But
you
even
can
my
pay me to watch
mom,
that movie.
mom's not like the biggest horror person ever, and she definitely isn't like a blood and guts person. But even I was talking to her about it the next day, and she's like, "Oh, that does sound really interesting." She's like, "I would have gone and watched that with you," kind of thing. And I'm sure she wouldn't have liked, like, she would have been totally put off by the body horror shit. But like when I was kind of talking to her about like, "Oh, this is like thematically what they're going for," and like the kind of sci-fi concept like behind it all and all that shit, like she was kind of like, "Oh, that was like really interesting, like I would have checked that out," you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, the substance. All right. Yeah. So this was not what I wanted to talk about,
Mhm.
but I just felt like I wanted us to have this conversation
Mhm.
because I had it separately with each of you, but not all together. Anyways. So I was out in the library, and I was talking with this person who I'd never met before, and strangely enough, the conversation goes to wedding songs. Like, what would your ideal wedding song be, right?
Mm.
And this person, with a straight face, looks me in the eye, says she wants to be dancing to Cardi B
Mm.
for her wedding song.
It's a choice.
Right. So let's just pause there for a second. Do we have any thoughts on that as a wedding song?
That's a choice. I mean, to each his own, but that's
Well,
a
what,
choice.
What Cardi B song?
Does it matter?
I can't remember what she said,
Wow.
dude. I honestly
I
truly
mean,
do.
I-
Yeah, does it
honestly,
matter?
I've actually never really-
wedding
I've actually
song,
never-
does that mean like walking down the aisle or like the first dance?
Wedding song means first dance, right?
Oh,
Well,
I
first
think
isn't
it's
first dance like
typically-
a isn't first dance like a slow dance?
yeah.
Customarily it's a slow dance. I've seen people,
Yeah.
have fun with it where they do like a whole choreographed thing, the bride and groom.
No,
But
never.
even then, yeah, never. First of all, never. I would never want to do choreographed dance.
Yeah.
You're not
with my
doing
person.
choreographed God's plan?
Yeah, dude. God, I was gonna say I was
Imagine a
hoping
choreographed God's plan.
I was hoping you'd say God's plan. That's what she's told you.
That's
Okay.
so
God's plan.
That's so funny. But even then, with the choreographed dance, people don't want to give up the first slow dance, though. That's just such a hallmark,
Clearly she does.
at least in Western weddings.
Yeah, I don't know what this person you talked to was talking about, because were they just saying like, yeah, I want Cardi B in the playlist, or were they saying like, I want the first dance with my partner and I to be a fucking
No.
Cardi B song.
I clarified. It would be one thing if she said she wants it in the playlist. It wouldn't even be worth
So she
bringing up
wants
if
the
that's what
first
she
dance
meant.
to be Cardi B.
I hope she watches
She wants
this
the first dance
podcast
to be
and
Cardi
she
B.
knows that she's stupid.
That's a choice.
Why? Why
I
would
think
you
that-
just?
I think that doing Cardi B as the first dance takes away any sort of elegance or beauty to the moment.
That's a good point. It takes
I
away.
think all of a sudden, yeah.
Yeah.
I think all of a sudden it becomes like cheap. I don't know why. It just feels like in that moment it goes from like a nice sweet moment to like, oh, this is kind of like No, it's just
Huh?
like
What does
I
that
don't even know.
mean?
I'm not even sure what that
What
means.
the hell
to be
does that
honest.
even mean?
Interpret it as you will.
I actually can't interpret that. I actually can't interpret
Like,
that.
you
Explain
know
it
what
to
term?
me.
You know what term I'm thinking of? I'm thinking like the difference between like elegance and like being like kind of like ratchet. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was
Okay.
thinking. I was thinking like ghetto.
It's kind of
Okay.
it's a little bit to me. It's a little bit. It's lacking elegance. It's just a little bit juvenile.
For me, it would kind of ruin the vibe. It's
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying. It would ruin the vibe, and it would, um, it just would feel so out of place. Would
It
feel
just
so out of
depends
place.
what
think
you're
of-
going for, you know.
Yeah, and also
Okay,
think of your family. Think of your family.
Patrick, what's
dude.
your
Like,
topic
think of,
here?
Think,
Pause. So Matthew said something that suggests to me that there's a way to go about this. Can you explain to me the circumstance in which it would work to have the Cardi B song as your first song?
Listen,
Like, what is it that you're going for?
if you and your partner both like Cardi B that much, I guess that you want to do it, and you're going for like a less serious, more of a like, this is a party and a celebration, and we're trying to like have a laugh kind of thing, then it's like,
Right.
I wouldn't do that, but I could see that like train of thought of like, we're
Yeah,
gonna
just-
do something
but
like
as-
fun.
Whoever does
As the
that
first-
better know in the back of their mind that they're gonna be known as the people who had the silly wedding.
no, but to me, it's like like even if you and your partner love Cardi B, like why the first dance though?
I don't know. Again, I'm saying I wouldn't do that personally. I'm just saying I could see a logic that exists where it would be like, this is why we're doing it, you know?
Oh, Carol and
silly-
Patrick.
the
Oh
silly
yeah,
wedding.
you remember their silly wedding?
The silly wedding. Yeah, like I wouldn't do it, but all I'm saying is it depends what vibe you're going for.
See, this is where I kind of disagree because I feel like it's too much of a sacrifice.
A sacrifice
can
of what,
still-
though?
You can still have that vibe, but
Just
start
do it
off
after.
the wedding.
Do it after. Do
Start
it
off the
when
wedding
dancing
properly,
comes.
yeah.
But
Keep that
what
shit
are
at
you
home.
sacrificing?
You're
The elegance of
sacrificing
your wedding.
the
It's like
the
a beautiful
elegance and the
day. Like
special moment.
Okay, but you
with
guys are
your
hung up on the
person.
elegance of that, but all I'm saying is that
Let
to
me play a
them
Cardi B song.
might be
You
like
guys won't be able to
what
hear it, damn it.
special moment they want.
Ah.
And even though
They
it's
don't
not
know.
an
But
elegant...
Once again,
know what they want.
that's the point.
They
If
don't know
do
what they
choose to
want.
do that, they need to know that they will be remembered as the people that had the silly wedding.
I'm being sure. That's,
Maddie,
you
here's
know,
the thing,
that's their
though.
cross to
Maddie,
bear.
But I find, Maddie, I find that you do this with a lot of things where you say your opinion, but not really. You're like, but if someone else likes it, it's like, yeah, but like, what do you think? Like, what is your opinion on it?
I
What do you think
personally,
about it?
like, if Patrick's topic is wedding songs, I've got a couple in the chamber right now I could name for you that would be
Yeah.
more like slower, a dance, you know, between like Varsh and I kind of thing. Like, that's my preference. I'm just making the argument
He's playing
of like,
devil's advocate.
Patrick just wants to shit on this person for the whole episode.
I could see a
No.
train of thought that exists, and again, it depends what they're going for. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever see this person again. By the way, I
wait.
genuinely don't even remember their name.
Let's bump it up to an extreme, okay? Because we're
Yeah.
talking about this like, oh, some people might like this song, whatever. Let's talk about like a horrific song that like nobody would ever like
Yeah.
or listen to.
What
Like
could
then
be
what
horrific?
would you say?
What if it
Then
was
what would it
WAP?
be?
WAP.
WAP
Yeah,
as the
WAP.
first song.
Would you still say yeah? But if they both like it, I mean, whatever. But it's like very vulgar, and it's like your.
Well, I would say
grandmother,
that
you know?
for any song. Yeah, do whatever the hell you want. I don't care.
Yeah,
Even with
Maddie's
Gam Gam
right.
in the front, even if the Gam Gam's in the front row.
Maddie, tell me
Yeah,
you're gonna sit at a wedding, and if they play WAP as their first dance, you're just gonna be like, they're just having fun with this.
Listen,
Their
if
wedding.
that's what they were gonna do, I'm not saying there also wouldn't be
Let
any
them have
judgment
fun.
from me. Like, I'd be turning to Varsh, being like, "Can you believe this shit right now?" But
Can
like,
you believe these scumbags?
okay, now
Can you
see,
believe
now you're
these-
taking it.
He's trashy.
Now you're taking it a little
Yeah,
far.
Hey,
it's
you
ghetto
trashy.
ass.
That's the word,
Words.
bro.
Your words.
That
What
is the word.
words?
Those are your words. You come on. You're gonna.
I
You're
didn't
gonna tell
say
me-
those words.
You were alluding to those words.
Was I?
You were tacitly.
You said you would
Getting
look
at
over
those
at Varsh and say, "Can you believe this?" And then you left out that last word that you wanted to say.
Can
Yeah.
you believe this?
But here's the
But
thing,
yeah.
Maddie. Like your personal opinion on it seems to be in line with ours of like this is not elegant. This is not what
It's
I.
being
This is
too
not what I would
inclusive.
want. I don't think it's. You wouldn't think it's fitting, right? Like you wouldn't think it's fitting is the point.
For like a stereotypical wedding and what I'm going
Dude.
for, and clearly what you guys are going for. No, what is wrong with what I'm saying?
Yeah, Mark, I don't get your
like,
hang up either.
No, I just don't. I just feel like there's no opinion there other than like, oh, but I mean, anyone can do whatever they want. It's like, yeah, obviously they can do what they want, but like, I mean, what do we think about it?
The opinion is literally I wouldn't do it. I don't think that works for me. Like I would
But what
never
I
be
wanna-
caught dead doing it.
I don't want to
Yeah,
have
but
a
what I-
podcast
what-
where we say
yeah,
anyone
but-
can do whatever they want.
No, but what I want to unpack is why wouldn't you do it?
Because
what I
that's
wanna-
not the
that's what I-
vibe I'm going for. That's what I was saying before, where like it depends
So
what
what-
vibe you're going for. I
what vibe-
personally wouldn't go for like maybe for like later in the dance, like oh, and here's fucking Rock Lobster. Like I don't know, but like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
wouldn't be like the
But why-
initial
what-
song.
What kind of vibe do you think should be set at a wedding, or you want to be set at a wedding, and therefore that's why Cardi B wouldn't be what you want?
Well, those
Like,
are
what
two
vibe are
different
you looking
things.
for?
I personally would want set more of like a hey, this is like our moment, and like here's like a nice
A serious
You know,
event.
romantic song.
You know what
or
would be
whatever.
awesome? We should hijack Maddie's DJ and play Cardi B as the first song for his wedding.
There you
Would
go.
you
And he
hate
goes,
us for
"Ah,
that?
you know, it's okay.
I mean, it
Be
would
dead
definitely-
serious.
it
Would you hate
definitely-
us?
I wouldn't hate you, but it would like annoy me. It would piss me off. Like I would not.
It would
be
do more than
interested.
annoy you, and that's a fact. It would do more than annoy you.
There would be an exchange of words had.
In the moment? In front of everybody?
No, probably not.
Afterwards.
Probably
No.
afterwards, you save it.
Oh.
You know, save the
But
But
venom.
afterwards, you're supposed to be with your bride.
No.
I mean, I'm not
Okay,
saying
how
I'm gonna
about
be
this?
with
How
you for
about-
like 3 hours.
How about we go through one by one real quick and just say if we had to pick a song to be our first dance, our slow dance with our
This is-
partner, who would it? Yeah.
This is why I'm torn, Mark. So
Okay.
some of my favorite songs, for example, Beyond the Sea, if my partner, you know, had like felt the same way towards that song, that would be a great contender for me. But it's in a lot of ways not really a slow song.
Yeah, it's more
True.
upbeat.
You know what I
It's a
mean?
Upbeat. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's the
I know what you
upbeat
mean.
interlude, and so it may not be the most appropriate pick. Another thought I had in mind was Harvest Moon by Neil Young.
I was thinking about
And-
that. They actually, I heard that song
one is
today.
lethal, dude.
Yeah.
That would be a great wedding
Although-
song, dude.
I do feel. You know what I feel like? I feel like that song is a little bit sad. It's a bit. It has this feeling of sadness to it to me. So I feel like I would want something that's like slow but more hopeful. You know.
True, true. So
I
those
think-
are my two answers. I'm a little torn on them.
One of my
Yeah.
answers is November Rain.
November Rain by Guns N'
Yeah.
Roses?
Yeah.
Oh,
I like the slow vibe of it.
Interesting.
okay. Cool.
I'm trying to think.
That's
of,
like an
I'm trying to
8-minute
think
song,
of-
isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty long.
8 minutes. No, that's
think
so
of-
cool though. That's cool.
I want the 10-minute live version of Stairway to Heaven with the extended guitar solo and everything. No, for me, the
I want
real answer
I want
right
Zed
now,
Leplin to be
Zed Leplin.
performing.
Right now, the real answer is for me personally. Right now, is Valentine, that song by
Oh,
Leve there that I've
By that girl.
yeah that I've played for you guys before. That right now is
Yeah.
my current top candidate.
And that's because you guys, it's your song kind of thing.
I would say
Right.
so.
Dude,
Yeah.
you know what I'd want. You know what I'm thinking. I mean, I have two options here. I have one kind of like oldie and one newer song. For a newer song, it'll be a song by Cigarettes After Sex called Tejano Blue. I like that song a lot. I think it's like a nice romantic song. But an older song, I might go with Take My Breath Away from Top Gun.
Really?
I love that song.
Take
dude.
my
I
breath
feel like
away.
I feel like if I did it, my whole family would be like, "What the fuck is going on?" But like,
All I think that whole time.
But it's a
is,
nice-
like,
I don't think they
Tom,
would.
Tom Cruise riding a motorcycle. And
Well, that's
The
not what I'd
problem
be
is
thinking
that
of. I'd
song
be
is
thinking of
tainted
Tom
for me.
Cruise and Blue
Exactly.
I know
banging.
that's true.
Exactly.
true. It
That's-
is- it
the
is
song's tainted for
associated
me. I'd be dancing with my woman. And in my mind, the sound would be playing over and over again in my mind.
Mhm.
It would spoil the moment for me, I think.
It would.
That's a good point. Good point.
good choice.
But
though.
good choice. Yeah, it's a good choice.
Boom, boom,
Anyways,
boom.
that's all I've got, boys. I don't know if we have any other tangents we want to go off of here.
That was it.
No, that's it.
There you go. Thank you, Patrick.
Wedding songs,
Pretty
baby.
cool.
Wedding songs.
There are right and wrong answers to wedding songs.
Mm.
Don't get caught being the silly people at the silly wedding. Wait, can I take us away?
No.
Ah, okay.
Why?
I just want
You
to
didn't have
say
a topic. You don't have a topic.
no. I just want to say I love talking about wedding songs. Just to get us back in the mood, you know what I'm saying?
Maddie, cut that out and don't include it in the
Come on.
Okay, so I was thinking about, you know how at some points, I mean, I'm assuming that everyone has the same experience, and I'm pretty sure everyone does, but there are moments where you feel really confident and kind of like you're sure of yourself, and in other moments maybe you feel like you're you never have that. Okay. And then
I
there are other
loathe
moments where
myself.
and then there are other moments where maybe you feel not down on yourself, but just less outgoing or less confident. In any given moment, whatever. There may be multiple reasons for that, but I guess the topic I wanted to talk about was what makes you really confident. It could be something really silly. Like I know Maddie has joked about it before, but like like chewing on a fucking toothpick or whatever. Like somehow, or whatever reason, like when you have a toothpick in your mouth, you just feel like badass. You just feel like you can do whatever. It could be little things like that that kind of boost your confidence, or it could be things like, I know for me, like getting ready and dressing up and like, you know, picking out an outfit and like, I don't know, like kind of being, looking the way I want to look helps me be more confident in my personality. So yeah, I don't know. I also wanted to talk to you guys about that.
Can I? This might be a little bit of a derail here, but I just can't help but notice, Matthew, your beard is looking more neckish than usual.
It's a little
What do
low.
you think, Mark?
I'd say so, yeah.
It's definitely a little. You know what? I
A
haven't
little
like,
repulsive.
I haven't cleaned it up in like going on at least a week now. So I definitely like tomorrow morning when I wake up and shower and shit. I think I'm gonna have to spend some time getting at it.
Speaking of confidence, Patrick's trying to deal a low blow to.
I know,
to
Patrick's-
Malcolm, not to Malcolm, to Maddie here.
Listen, Matt.
Yeah, but you know, but I think all you need to do is just get like a what do you call it, a guard, and then just like literally just go like that.
Yeah, I usually
Like,
when
you
I
don't
do
have
like a full kind of cleanup, because half the time I usually don't even touch it. I just do like above where it starts to come in on my cheeks, and I do like under where it starts to come on my neck. But
Wait, why are you shaving it higher?
because like I get like sort of just like I don't even know if this camera's gonna pick it up, but I get like kind of just like straggler hairs all over my cheeks and shit sometimes that are like not filling in kind of below this line. They're just like stragglers and shit above. So I just like get rid of those, and then I do the same thing on the bottom. But when I like fully go at it, yeah, I throw like a guard over it and go over it a few times, and then I literally take like another kind of electric razor thing, and just like if I see any hairs sticking out, I just like kind of go over it and buzz those all off, kind of thing. And I try. It's a hassle. It's a work in progress. Anyways, after that derailment, did you have an actual response, Patrick?
That was my actual response, is that you need to get it together, pal,
Okay.
for your own self-confidence.
This is interesting. Confidence. I don't know. It depends on the situation. That, you know, I think there are times where I'm like relatively confident. I'm like, yeah, you know,
Sure.
whatever, blah blah blah. And then there's definitely times where I'm like not. I always think about like public speaking in that sense, where it's very weird for me, where like in school and stuff, whether it was like high school or, you know, as young as elementary and as old as college, doing like a prepared presentation, I was always so nervous about, and I don't know why, but it always just like freaked me out. Even, you know, when it's just like you're in front of, you know, for us it'd be like we were in like high school or together, and it's like we're in front of all your friends, but it was always like so nerve-wracking for some reason. At the same time, public speaking, if I'm just talking, doesn't freak me out. Like the example I've always used is like if you told me in high school, and even now, here's like a 10-minute presentation you have to give on fucking Hamlet or whatever, and like have it memorized and no notes and blah blah blah, and like it's going to be in front of, you know, the 20-30 people in your class. Freaks me out. I get in my own head about it. At the same time, if you were like, hey Matt, go in front of Scotiabank Arena and thousands of people, and just like without having to prepare anything, just talk about like a comic book you're reading right now or like a video game you're playing right now.
No way you wouldn't be nervous.
A little, but to me it's
Scotiabank
like
Arena.
because I'm just like getting to talk, and it doesn't have to be like prepared or anything like that. Like that doesn't freak
You
me
guys
out.
picking up the vacuum for me?
Maybe a little. I don't know.
Puppy.
Mark is handling
We're
The
recording and
vacuums.
we can hear
This is
the
the
vacuum.
Yeah.
joy of recording at our homes, everybody.
So here's the thing, Matt.
In like 20 minutes.
I don't really. I think you're psyching yourself out, buddy.
What do you mean?
Who's
With the
who's telling you?
presentations?
Yeah, with the presentation, like, why does it have to be memorized? Like, okay.
There were definitely school presentations where it was like you're not allowed notes, and it has to be.
And
a
that's
thing
fine.
Where, like you
And
know,
that's
they used to
fine.
penalize us, or it's like the more you look at like the
Guys, I gotta go for it.
smart
My dad's
board
just
to like
vacuuming, so just give me 1
figure
minute,
out what
okay?
you're talking about, like the more points you lose kind of thing. So it's
And
like
that's fine.
I don't know. It's the having
My
to
point
like
is-
have a prepared, memorized thing that threw me off. Whereas like if it was just go up in front of people and like talk about whatever the fuck you want, does not bother me at all.
Here's the
How
thing.
bad is the vacuum right now, by the way? Sorry. Is it really loud or not really?
No, I'm not
Only when
really-
you talk.
I'm not really getting it. That's it just coming through the Discord thing. But if I have to cut
Okay.
some of the background noise, that's not the end
Yeah.
of the world. I'm not worried. Anyways, Patrick.
Here's the thing,
what-
and this
Yeah.
is something that I notice with a lot of people who present. I think the detriment is always writing a script. Why write yourself a script? What I do is I have general points that I want to touch on and checkpoints. And then from there, I go with the flow. I see how the crowd
I think-
reacts. I'm talking, maybe I ask questions, get the crowd, you know what I'm saying? But then there's
it's a lack
people
of-
who go up there, they're completely robotic and they're one-dimensional because they've got a script and they've got to get it to
You know
that
what?
period, to the exact period that
think-
they wrote it, they have to say it.
But I think the problem with that what these people are doing is like they're trying to memorize versus like what you're doing and what you're talking about and how I view it is that you're understanding a concept and you're maybe like talking to yourself about it or you're thinking a lot about it, right? Let's say you're preparing for a presentation. Like you said, you might have a couple of like skeleton points that you can branch off of, but for the most part, you understand what you're talking about, so you can just kind of freely talk about it as opposed to you have to hit every sentence, every word in each sentence, and it's kind of like really high pressure, so people end up sounding really just kind of robotic, you know?
I think
But,
I think a way that's easy. I don't know how this has become giving advice to people who want to give presentations, but I think a thing that is easy is, let's say you're making a slideshow presentation. With each slide, just ask yourself, what do you want the audience to understand before I move on to the next slide? Just the
100%.
concept. Then
Yeah.
you do the slide, you go to the next one. It's the same thing over and over again.
That's literally
Um,
all I've been doing in when I've been teaching the class is like,
There you go.
what am I wanting them to understand in this slide? And then if they don't understand it, then I'll stay as long as we need to on that one slide until they figure
Mhm.
it out and we talk through it together and stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's a good goal. Well, I think
Even-
what I was trying to like. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
I was kind of like gonna switch it up a little bit. I was just gonna say like, what I was trying to get at is like, what do you guys feel like? Because you were saying it depends on the environment and stuff, but what I'm curious to understand and to learn is like, what do you guys do to boost your confidence? Is there any technique that you use, or something that you think, or something that you do externally, that you feel like makes you feel more outgoing somehow?
I think I'm confused. What confidence for what? Because you keep saying outgoing. Are you talking about for social situations specifically?
Anything, just
Anything.
feeling more confident. Yeah,
Oh.
just
I
feeling
know
more- like,
for me personally, like, I guess it depends, but like if I'm in a situation where like I'm meeting a new person or like a new group of people and I may or may not be like nervous about it, for example, let's say, or not feeling confident. I know for me, like, getting a laugh or something is usually like a quick, immediate kind of like confidence booster, because it also I feel like is a good way of like disarming people. And like, if I am meeting someone for the first time and I can like say something that gets them to laugh like within the first couple minutes of like us interacting kind of thing, that usually is sort of a good like, oh, okay, like I've got something, or I've done something, or like I've got them kind of thing.
You got the ball rolling.
Yeah, like I've got them in some sort of position where it's like, oh, okay, like they're laughing, like, they're having a good time, and it could be about fucking whatever. I mean, I even think about like job interviews and stuff, and I haven't obviously had too much luck yet, even though I have been like trying actively for real this time over the past few weeks. But like there was a Bell Media thing I applied to, and they wanted, I don't think this was like me, like specially or anything like that. I think this was something they asked everybody to do, but they wanted like a video interview. And I was like, oh, it'll be a Zoom call thing. And then I got like emailed instructions, and it was just like, no, there was 3 questions that you just had to record your answers to. And I was
Oh, I've
like,
done that
fucking,
before.
well,
So
that doesn't
weird.
help me at all, because it's like, I did it, and I'm like answering the questions, and they only give you 2 minutes to answer and like 30 seconds to prepare for each question. So like the question would just pop up on my screen, and I was like writing on a sticky note off to the side like talking points for it real quick, and then I would just spend 2 minutes doing it. And I'm like, that doesn't help me. Whereas like I have long since held the belief, if I may toot my own horn a little bit, and an example of having some confidence is, even though I'm a hermit and kind of could do away with most of the world most of the time, I like to think generally like I'm pretty sociable and like can talk to people even that I don't really know. And so it's like I'm dying to have a crack at like an actual job interview where I can talk face to face with somebody and hopefully, to my point, crack a joke or like let some amount of personality or charisma or something shine through that kind of like gets the person like, oh, this is like an all right dude or whatever, and blah blah blah, and like that helps. Patrick, you seem to be laughing. What's on your mind?
You're gonna make
son
the
of a
most
bitch.
you're gonna make the most inappropriate joke, and you just fucking blow it at your
Also,
I
that
can imagine that happening.
there's also an outcome, yeah, where like an interviewer says something and I just make a joke and swing for the fences, and they're like, that wasn't funny, man. It's like, interview over. So
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm just curious. Have you? It sounds like you haven't, but I'll ask it anyways. Have you restricted your search to Indeed, or applying through Indeed?
not entirely, but that's definitely been like the primary place,
Okay.
but it hasn't been the
okay.
only
Well, the prob-
place.
Why can't
The
you? Why
problem
don't
with-
you?
The problem with I feel like the problem would be like there's not many places you can go in person just to apply.
That's the big problem.
Here's
That's
the
why I
thing.
tell my dad all the time, because my dad's, you guys know him, very old school, and he's like, just go drop off resumes at places. I'm like, but it's
Yeah.
not like
Like
Matthew,
what places?
like what? Yeah, it's not like that anymore. There was a place
Can't
in
you?
Mississauga or like a Tobacoke somewhere recently, like a couple weeks ago, that had an office and everything. And I was like, awesome, I'll go drop a resume off here in person and like see if I can talk to somebody. And literally on their fucking website, it was like, we don't do in person like walk-ins. And I was like, well, fucking, I found a place that like I could in theory go to, and they don't even want that. So like I have to submit it through their,
Can't.
vacuum.
So here's what I don't get. Why don't you go on Indeed, see the names of these companies, and then search up the company and try and go direct to them? Like find an email or find a phone number.
A lot of the
Connect
Indeed
with a
things-
human being.
But a lot of the Indeed things have that, where like on some of the job listings, it's not like apply through Indeed. It is like, to apply, send your resume and shit to this email kind of thing. So it's more like less.
And a lot of
through
it is like
Indeed
that?
and more direct to them. Some of them are. It's not all of them. Oh,
What percentage?
I don't know.
Give me a ballpark.
Maybe like 30, 40.
Okay.
The other like 60, 70 are all like, the Indeed thing. But anyways, I was gonna say something about Mark's confidence topic. Oh, in terms of like, because I know the like trying to make a joke thing is more like an abstract thing. In terms of like generally speaking, you guys know me. I'm not the like dress up guy type at all. But I feel like in the past, like, throwing on a leather jacket and like putting on good shoes and shit, and like we'd go out somewhere to, like that would be a thing where it's like, oh,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I look good kind of thing, and that is sort of like
Yeah,
an
yeah.
internal
Yeah,
confidence.
Who told
it's
you?
real
boost,
good, dude. That's
Who
what
I
told
told
you?
myself. Self confidence.
Wow. There
Yeah,
you
honestly,
go.
I think that makes the world of a difference. Honestly, like I think sometimes like when you said like, oh, when you throw on your leather jacket, like that makes me laugh. But at the same time, like that works for you, and that makes you feel, more confident, more like you said, like it's like a look good, feel good type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What, Patrick?
Yeah, look good, feel good, but what's so detrimental, which is thinking you look good and then someone telling you how goofy you look.
Sure.
And that's
Yeah,
happened,
but-
and that's happened to me way too many times, dude.
But at the
Whether
same
it's
time,
Malcolm or Mark or somebody, it's happened to me way
Yeah,
too many
but,
times.
but at the same time, I find that that's like your friends busting your balls. But there are probably many times where if you feel confident, people will kind of look at you like you are. I don't know. They'll see you in a different way. Like you could be like dressed up really nice, but you can kind of be like hunched over and like
Yeah.
averting eye contact, and all of a sudden it's like your overall vibe like takes a couple notches down. Whereas
Mhm.
like you could be wearing something kind of bummy and you think you look great, and people would just judge your outfit and say it's not good, but your overall demeanor is like so great because it's just how you feel, honestly, So
Yeah,
could-
yeah.
if you could trick yourself into feeling like amazing about yourself, even if you may not look like nice or whatever, then like it works.
That's the thing. The moments where I have tricked myself, but then it's brought to my attention that no one is perceiving it the way you feel.
Yeah.
Not a good feeling. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about this because I wonder if like, how you guys approach that sort of thing, if you ever even think about it. Because for me, it's like, I'll have days where I'm just kind of bummy and I'm wearing like just whatever, and I didn't really put much effort into it. And I feel like also depending on how I start my day, my confidence goes a certain way. Like if I kind of like slept in and woke up late and didn't do any chores and didn't make my, you know what I'm saying? Like there's things that happen throughout the day where if I'm not being productive, then my confidence isn't as high as well. So that's something that helps me, for example, is like being super productive. That like boosts my momentum and confidence throughout the day type thing. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure what much else you guys want to add to this, but
It's a tricky
yeah, I don't know.
thing.
Maybe it's not a great topic, to be honest.
No,
but
I like
don't
this.
know.
It's a tricky thing, confidence, because it comes and it goes. I've understood the people who say they aren't confident ever, even though I think that's sort of like a selling yourself short. And I also refuse to believe the people that claim they're like always
Always.
confident, where it's
Yeah.
like,
I'm
"Nah, you're
always
fucking
confident."
not." Like there you go. Thanks, Patrick. Full of shit. Like there's something or some time where you're not.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. When the moment counts, when the moment
He's
You're
there.
locked
when the
in.
moment counts,
He's
I'm
there.
there. I'm locked
There you
in.
go. Well, that's good.
Honestly, you know what a dumb thing is? Like in the kind of same lane as like having a toothpick in your mouth. Another thing is for me is like chewing gum. I don't really chew gum. For some reason, when you chew gum, you're just like you know what's going on. I don't know. Like even if you're confused, if you're chewing gum, you're like he's got it. Like whatever the situation is, he gets it and he knows what to do. If we're not sure what to do, we can ask him.
I'm gonna jump in here. I have the complete opposite perception of someone doing this.
Of chewing gum.
If I see someone doing this, I'm gonna be like, "Who is this
No.
fucking asshole?"
Not that exaggerated. Maybe I did it too exaggerated. But just like kind of like chill, like chewing gum.
I see. Okay.
I feel like there's an aura to it. Like what other silly thing like that do you think makes you look cool or not cool?
Well, something I was just gonna toss out there when you mentioned
Dude.
the toothpick
Dude,
thing.
sorry, Maddie, wait.
No,
sorry.
that's okay.
I just want to say this. I feel like shades indoor kind of slaps sometimes. Shades sometimes, not like a lot of times it
Like
doesn't,
sunglasses?
but there are moments where sunglasses indoors, it's like, wow, this guy's mysterious. There's an aura to him.
That's a big one. Sunglasses are huge. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll walk into the store like where I work, like because it's so sunny out. I'll walk in with sunglasses, and I purposefully don't take them off before I walk in.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, look how fucking dope I look with these glasses, dude. I'll walk in and I'll feel like the boss. Like I'm not even the boss, but I feel like a boss. And then I get back and then I take them off, and then all of a sudden I feel inferior.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I want to show you guys something.
While Patrick does that, what I was gonna say was in a similar vein to like the whole like the toothpick thing and leather jacket and shit like that.
Yeah.
But sunglasses. Oh
You
god,
look bald
here he
now.
comes. The fucking backwards.
Okay, have you
cat.
guys?
Why does he look bald now?
Wait. Have you guys ever seen this move? Hold on, I'm gonna go off frame for a second.
Here we go.
Oh no.
Have you,
That's so
Have you-
bad.
No.
have you guys ever seen this move?
Yes,
That's
it's
the Guy
awful.
Fieri.
People do it with sunglasses.
Yeah,
That's the Guy
awful.
Fieri.
It's
That's the diners, drive-ins, and dives.
It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Why do people do this unironically?
I don't
I don't know.
know.
It's a dumb
I don't
one.
know.
What I was gonna say though is on the topic of sunglasses, that is the thing that popped into my head where it's like, oh yeah, sunglasses are for sure a confidence boost to me, and I also just prefer them as like, yeah, there you go, Guy Fieri. I really like sunglasses. Stick with me here for a second, fellas. Let me back up. As you guys know, and for the audience out there, if you looked at my PlayStation account, it would probably say it's been like 2 years since I've been online. That's just because I'm constantly appearing offline. I like the privacy. I like to be left alone. Sunglasses give me that same thing.
No paparazzi.
Where it's like, being able to kind of look out without people being able to look in is like a confidence boost, but I also like it. Like even when I was in Halifax visiting Varsh and just walking like the city streets down there, there's so many people who like, and this is the thing just nowadays, I guess, where like people are like always fucking walking, like looking at the ground or like looking up, and like nobody wants to like look straight ahead and make eye contact like with random people on the street. But when I was walking around like sunglasses on, I'm walking around like head straight,
Staring
held
down.
high kind of thing, like looking at anyone and everything kind of thing. And it's like, and I feel no weirdness or worry of like, what if we like accidentally make eye contact with like a fucking guy on the
Yeah.
street, because it's like I'm wearing sunglasses, he can't see my eyes. So it's like sunglasses, the it factor. A big fan of
Yeah,
sunglasses.
that's a big one. That's a big.
That's
I
a
think
big
that's probably
one.
that might be the biggest one of the ones we've mentioned so far. Unless we can think of something else. I know what I think another one is wearing a suit. I
Sure.
don't do it often, but wearing like a nice suit, that's a big one for me. I feel like that kind of like, I don't know why, just like brings things up a notch, and you feel like you're in control.
Oh,
Which
dude.
is I'm the power suit.
Dude, you know what a huge confidence booster is? And I'm going to sound like I'm like 5 years old.
Here we go.
Tying your own tie, dude. Tying your own
Never done it
tie.
before.
The first time I did it was when I was getting ready for my graduation pictures at U of T. I felt that was the day I felt like a man. That was the day I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm a man today. I've done this and it looks perfect. I look great. That's it.
You
The
know
rite
what's
of
another one for
passage.
me?
Yeah.
Another one is like, just like getting into your car. I don't know why. It's just
Huh?
like a, hey, look, I'm getting into my car, and let's say there's like a, let's say you're like hanging out with people and everyone's leaving. It's like, all right, and you get into your own car, you roll the window down, music's playing. Just like a kind of like, hey, this is my domain, this is my space. You don't know why that's another one.
It works. It does the
Yeah,
trick.
right?
I think half the thing, like with confidence, anyways, is just fooling yourself. Like I know
Yeah,
I brought up the
exactly.
leather jacket thing, and it's like for me, it's just like, hey, I look cool. And Patrick, you brought up the thing of like, and then somebody cuts you off at the knees, kind of thing. But I think half of it is just like fooling yourself, anyways, into like
Yeah.
thinking it, anyways, of like, yeah, I'm fucking. Look at me in my fucking car. Look at me with my
But you
sunglasses.
should do,
Like,
but you should do that, because I know it's kind of like, it's narcissistic, it's silly, whatever, but like, it gives you confidence. It gives you a feeling of like, I don't know, being able to do it. I feel like if you're kind of like self-conscious and you're not sure of yourself at all times, like, it just you're limiting yourself.
Yeah,
well, and it just
yeah.
depends, like how far you take it. Like,
Sure.
if you're like, I'm going out to like a bar, for example, and you look good and you're like, oh, like, I feel confident kind of thing. Or if I'm going to a job interview and I get a laugh and it's like, oh, I feel confident kind of. It's like, that's a good confidence and a far cry from people who are like confident in quotes, but just like walk around like an asshole. Like, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
care about
mistreating
anything.
people,
I'm
yeah.
confident, like
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. So it's
Oh,
like,
dude, people who talk nonchalant regarding everything are the most annoying people in the world, dude.
that's what
Show
I'm
a
saying.
little bit
There's,
of
like,
emotion.
There's an annoying edge to it,
Yeah.
It's like a competitiveness that happens where people
Yes.
are like, it's like everyone's trying to outdo each other, and like, dude, just let your guard down for a second and be honest about what you're actually thinking. So yeah, they could definitely go too far when it comes to that. But I also think it's interesting when like, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought.
He lost it.
Oh yeah, well, like with confidence, I feel like people treat you differently too. And I know we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but I feel like if you're not confident and you're just down on yourself sometimes, people like smell that shit on you, and then they like for some reason, even if they're not meaning to, they can kind of like, in a way, like kind of throw shade at you or feel more comfortable potentially like soft bullying you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe making a comment, kind of like making fun of something or something. You know what I'm saying? I feel
Yeah.
like sometimes when people don't feel like you respect yourself, like they have a little bit less automatic respect for you. Really, you know what I'm saying? Like if you really like are not confident at all, and they feel like you're super self-conscious, then that's how like people just feel like, oh, I can have power over this person. somehow.
Here's the
Like, it
craziest
gives me
thing.
power.
Here's the craziest thing is a lot of it is unconscious, and I think you mentioned it already, unconscious signals that you give, whether it's with your posture or like Maddie mentioned, your gaze. Are you looking into people's eyes? Are you avoiding eye contact? So a lot of it can be people perceiving you, and unconsciously they're picking up on these cues that we have in society that should suggest that someone is, confident or they're not confident kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I feel like I've been
Yeah.
there have been times where I'm trying to be weary of that because I feel like sometimes I'm in social situations and with new people like I'm too passive, and I'm like no, like I have to express myself and I have to be clear and I have to be confident because otherwise like it's very easy just to fall to the wayside and have people kind of ignore you or not really want to talk to you because you're kind of like always quiet or you're not advocating for yourself in any way. So I think that's a big one honestly, and I think I've felt times where I'm potentially like kind of like disrespected because I feel like because people view me as kind of, super self-conscious or not talking at all. Whereas if I'm like standing up for myself and not in like a way of like, oh, don't say that about me, just like literally just being confident, then I feel like people feel less quick to kind of like judge you or potentially want to like take advantage of you in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, super random, super duper random, and I want to say this, and I don't want you guys to react negatively right away.
Here we go.
Okay.
Okay. We game a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not. I'm not confident. I don't want to say it. I'm not confident.
Say it. Who gives a shit? Say it.
Why do
Say
we
it!
ever? Why have we never tried like streaming when we play?
What do you mean?
Like streaming.
Like streaming publicly?
Yeah.
Like a Twitch stream or something?
Something like that.
I was about to say that would be. I mean, we could always just save it and upload it as a separate YouTube thing, but I suppose that could be something we perhaps try one day as like a little wildly adequate stream. Maybe even like
'Cause I always
one of the
had-
Christmas episodes when we're off for a few weeks.
Because I
To be
always,
honest, I think it would be more entertaining than like some conversations that we have.
I think that's the thing. I think it has the
Things get pretty
potential.
crazy.
But that's what I'm saying. I think because it can be. To me, it's always been like it could be something we can throw on, and we just do what we do. Like we play,
Yeah.
every night, every other night, whatever it
And we
is.
just remember that the cameras and mics are rolling and act accordingly.
Oh man. Yeah.
I mean, we never really.
No, but I think-
do we ever
dude,
say
I think-
anything that's crazy
Yeah, we do.
though?
During
We
Mortal
do?
Kombat, yeah. During Mortal Kombat. I mean, not crazy in terms of like wildly inappropriate. I mean, it's just kind of like vulgar language.
Okay,
But
yeah.
I think that's fun to me. Like I think that it would be really entertaining to have like Rocket League be streamed. I
That
feel like
that
one
could be
is
fun.
Anything that's like when you're working as a team, Overwatch would be potentially interesting too. Although it's kind of hard with the switching perspectives and
Yeah.
multiple people playing and whatever. I even find that when I try to watch like Overwatch League in the past, like it's fun, but it's a little bit hard to watch sometimes because they're switching perspectives every second and there's 5 people on each team and whatever. If you're playing Rocket League like 2v2 or 3v3, then you just have 3 people and there's just one locked angle on each of them.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I feel like we had a lot of funny moments with like talking shit in the chat. I feel like that would be a funny clip.
Yeah. Oh, dude, when we were
About,
just
like-
going off, whatevs.
Whatever.
Yeah. No, that was.
Yeah, I think that would be something kind of like when we did the Malcolm's topic of us playing Smash together. Like, I think doing perhaps like a game stream sort of episode down the line, like I said, maybe as like one of our holiday episodes when we're off for a few weeks. I think that would be something fun to explore doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Super
Anyway,
random,
that
though,
was just-
Patrick. Super random.
Super
Very
random. We'd have to, figure out how to actually do it, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I'm sure we can
But
figure it out. Anyways, Mark, was there anything else
Anyway.
you wanted to get off your chest with that?
Yeah, I mean the only other thing I'll say is like the reason I was even thinking about this topic is because I feel like for me confidence can be so variable sometimes, and I think it has to be sometimes like a conscious effort to put yourself out there and be assertive and not just kind of like crumple down and just like again like your posture and you gotta like sometimes I gotta think about these things because sometimes I might naturally just not want to be outgoing or talkative or confident, And I'm not necessarily saying confidence equates to like being super loud all the time or talking a lot. I just think that, yeah, I don't know. I was just curious to hear what methods or techniques you guys might use or how you think about it so that I may apply it myself as well. But yeah, that's about it. Patrick, I don't think you said anything about that. Like, do you ever feel like your confidence varies? One day you might feel less confident, one day you might feel more confident. If so, how do you deal with that? Yeah. Because I think it's, to me, I would assume it's pretty average and normal for most people to have days where they're really confident and some days they're not as confident for whatever reason. maybe they have a bad hair day, or maybe they don't like what they're wearing, or maybe they're thinking about something that upset them, or
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, and I don't think it's possible to be any other way. Like everything
Yeah.
is oscillating, whether we're talking
Sure.
about your confidence or your mood. I guess
Mm.
that ties into
Mm.
confidence, but yeah, I kind of just go with the flow. To be honest with you, I don't really think
Mm.
about the only thing that comes to mind when it comes to coaching my confidence is
Mm. Mm.
when I feel stressed for school or I have assignments or
Mm.
papers to write. I just have self-talk where I tell myself, whatever it is, like I always get the job done, and that always
That's
gives
cool.
me, the energy I need to
Mm.
do
That
what I have
helps
to
me
do.
too. I feel like sometimes I think those things and I never say them, and I think saying them out loud helps a lot. Like I may think to myself like, "Oh, you're capable, you're whatever," but like I think it, and then sometimes not saying it and keeping it inside doesn't actually help it. It doesn't make an impact on me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
why lists are so powerful. Like writing down lists of stuff you want to do. You can think about what you want to do all day, and you'll never get most of it done because it's just kind of like abstract. But when you write it down, all of a sudden it becomes concrete.
That's
So I
right.
think that's a good one too.
Yeah, yeah. There's, I don't know, people. I get what you're saying about being scared of giving off the vibes of not being confident because honestly, personally, when I see it, it's just such a huge, like, I don't know how to
You're talking about like
put
when
the
you see
words.
other people not being confident.
Yeah, when I see other people not being confident, and I'm not talking about random people, I'm talking about people
Yeah.
like perhaps at school with me or,
Mm.
what I mean, in my
They
program.
disgust you.
It doesn't disgust me. No, it doesn't disgust me, but it's
Is
like,
it like a turn off, not in any like sexual sense, but in terms of like you almost feel like you don't like is it one of those things where you feel like you don't want to be spending as much time with that person because they almost feel like they don't believe in themselves type thing? Is that what you're trying to
this
get
is
at?
what it's, I think I'm trying to get at something a little different, which is it's two things where I see
Yeah.
non-confidence, but then I also see a lack of desire to change.
no ambition.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what does that do for you? That's what I'm saying. Like, does it want you to not associate with them essentially, or is there something else that happens because of that?
Yeah, it kind of makes me want to like distance myself, I think, a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, because you want to surround yourself with people who are like-minded, who, you know, are equally as who are ambitious or passionate about something.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes people might not think about it like that because I'm sure when you're doing that, it's like a automatic process, right? You're not
Mm.
thinking like I want to distance myself from this person. Like maybe you do sometimes, I don't know, but I'm assuming most of the time when you notice it, it's just an automatic like natural feeling of like, oh, I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that sometimes it might be easy for people to kind of surround themselves with people who are like that and have no ambition and have no kind of self-belief, and then it kind of leaks into their own life, and then maybe you eventually get to get to that point too where you don't feel like you're not capable of much,
Yeah. Yeah.
which kind of sucks. Yeah. On that note.
On that note.
Yeah.
And there we go.
So Matt, are you gonna do a topic as well?
I don't know. It's up to you guys. Do you want to keep going, or shall we just wrap this up? I mean, we are going to be doing this again in a couple days now that we're switching to a different day.
Save
So,
save it for Sunday, pal.
Sunday we'll do Sunday. I guess, but for the people listening, next week we will finally do the second half of my comic book topic that we started like 10 fucking weeks ago because we just got a million things going on, or we weren't all together in the same episode. It was a mess. But yeah, I'm happy to just get up on out of here and save it for
You guys
another
you guys wanna
time.
play something?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, on that note, there's another episode of Wildly Adequate for you, ladies and gentlemen. Please, like I said in the beginning, I think, I know, because it was the same day we're recording this. And also, Malcolm had to go. If you like
Oh,
the
yeah, we
show,
didn't mention that.
we just didn't even mention it. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Also, do reviews. I was looking on Spotify the other day. Our show is 5 stars on Spotify with 9 reviews. Just saying.
That's pretty good, actually.
leave more reviews, likes on YouTube, and reviews on like
How many
Spotify
reviews?
and Apple Podcasts. 9
9.
views.
9 reviews?
Yeah, 9 reviews on Spotify that are 5 stars. Not like written reviews or anything like that, just star ratings. So,
Okay.
leave us nice reviews and stuff, because I'm sure that helps, the almighty algorithms as much as all the other shit does. But anyways, gentlemen, is there anything we want to get off our chests real quick before we bounce?
Yes.
No.
Please proceed.
What's he doing? He's doing an animation. What's he doing?
No, I'm not doing an animation.
What?
Mark, you go first.
Okay.
No, I have nothing else to add.
Oh, you have nothing to get off your chest?
No, not really.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Just
Oh,
buy me
I
one
see what
more.
you're getting at.
Buy me one more moment.
Are
What
you-
am I? Wait, what am I
you
getting
wanted me
at?
to say something. I thought you were wanting me to say a specific story that I mentioned to you earlier.
Oh, you can say that story if you'd like. Go ahead.
No, I can't say that. No.
Okay.
Wait, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, we're at 81 listeners on Spotify.
Mm. YouTube subs.
YouTube subs are at 101.
101.
And yeah, we're about to hit 600 streams on Spotify.
There you go. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
How many eps are we at now?
This is 81.
81.
Spotify, I think our numbers are definitely YouTube centric.
They
Yeah.
are. They are.
That's definitely where-
So I was gonna say, like, if that's like less than, I mean, obviously the older episodes probably don't have as much traction as the newer ones, but like that's like less than 10 views per episode, whereas in YouTube it's like way more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely so. But anyways, thank you for those stats, Patrick. And I got nothing.
They call me the
So-
Stat Man.
They call him the Stat Man. He's the Stat Man. What's the song? I'm the Scat Man.
The Scat Man.
He's the Stat Man.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got nothing. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Goodbye.